He never spoke a word. Not to his warriors, not to his enemies, not even to his own blood. He ruled in silence. A ghost crowned in fear. They called him cursed, broken, less than a king. He never defended himself, never explained, never tried. And when she met him, she thought he was heartless, emotionless, empty. She was wrong. Silence wasn't weakness. It was a cage. And she was the first crack in it. Because the night danger came for her. When every voice turned against her. When the whole pack watched. The mute alpha finally spoke. 3 words, shaking the world. I love you. And nothing, ever, was silent again. If you were her, would you trust a man who never speaks? Or run from the words he saved just for you? Tell me in the comments section. And subscribe for more stories like this. This is the story of a girl who talked too much and a king who didn't talk at all. It's a story about silence that hid a wound and a voice that hid a fear and a fate that didn't care about either. She wasn't powerful. She wasn't respected. She wasn't wanted. She was just Luna. The pack's chatterbox, the orphan nobody listened to, the girl who filled every quiet with nervous words because silence terrified her. Silence meant memories. Silence meant loneliness. Silence meant pain. And somewhere out there, in a throne room, carved from ice and rumor, stood a man who hadn't spoken in 10 long years. They said he couldn't. They said he wouldn't. They said his voice was dead. But destiny doesn't care about rumors. Destiny ties knots between opposites and waits for the fire. And the night Luna crossed paths with the silent alpha. Silence and voice collided. And the world began to crack, because fate had decided. His first words, belonged to her morning in Frostfang Pack, was always the same. Cold wind, colder people. But Luna talked anyway, to the baker, to the guards, to the sky, to herself. Words spilled out of her like breath, fast, nervous, unstoppable. Because silence felt like drowning. She hurried across the training grounds carrying a stack of files for the infirmary, mumbling to herself. Okay, don't trip, don't drop anything, don't embarrass yourself again, just walk like a normal human or wolf or whatever. She tripped. Files exploded into the dirt. Warriors groaned. Someone muttered, "Here we go, Motormouth strikes again." Luna flushed crimson. Sorry. My bad, totally my bad, I can fix it." Beta Cade, towering and humorless, snapped, "Do you ever breathe?" Luna froze. Her mouth opened. "Yes. Well, technically, constantly. But sometimes I forget. I mean, not forget, but..." Cade held up a hand. "Stop talking. It." Her body obeyed. Her brain screamed. The silence hit her like a punch. Memories surged. Shadows. Closed doors. Voices saying quiet, until quiet became a punishment. Her chest tightened. Then, a horn sounded across the courtyard. Warrior straightened instantly, because he was coming. The Alpha, the mute king of Frostfang. Alpha Kale. Luna had never seen him up close. Nobody had. Not without trembling. Not without booing. Not without feeling their throat go dry in the presence of someone carved from ice and violence. He ruled without a voice. No speeches. No commands. just a gaze that made the air freeze. Cade barked, eyes down, back straight. Footsteps approached, slow, heavy, deliberate. Luna tried not to look, tried to stay invisible, paled. Her gaze lifted, and she saw him. Tall, broad-shouldered, black coat brushing the ground, scar across his jaw like a story no one dared ask about, eyes the color of winter steel, silent, terrifying, beautiful. The pack bowed. Luna forgot to. She just stared, wide-eyed, breathless. Cade hissed, "Bo!" She jolted so hard, she slammed into her stack of files again. They flew into Kael's path. Time stopped. Warriors gasped. Cade turned pale. No, 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 no. Luna scrambled, babbling, "I'm so sorry, really, my hands don't listen to my brain sometimes, and my feet are rebels and gravity hates me specifically." Kael stopped in front of her. A silent shadow. A wordless storm. He looked down at the papers near his boots, then at her. Luna's heart hammered. "Please don't exile me," she blurted, "or imprison me, or whatever silent Alpha Kings do when clumsy Omegas ruin their morning." A warrior whispered, "She's dead." Kael didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at Luna with unreadable, cold intensity. Luna stared back, trying not to shake. Then he turned, walked past her, didn't punish, didn't gesture, didn't acknowledge her words at all. Silence, absolute, suffocating, followed in his wake. The courtyard exhaled. Cade rounded on her. "Of all wolves to humiliate yourself in front of... Why him?" Luna winced. "I wasn't trying to humiliate anyone. I just exist, loudly." "Loud is dangerous," Cade snapped, "especially near him." She frowned. "Why?" "He can't yell at me." Cade's voice dropped into a fearful whisper. "He doesn't speak, because the last time he did, someone died." Luna froze. "What?" Cade glared. "Don't ask questions. Don't make noise. Don't get noticed." He walked away, leaving her alone with questions louder than her heartbeat. By midday, the entire pack was buzzing. The annual Claiming Moon ceremony was announced. The rare event where the Alpha stood before the full pack. Some said he'd choose an heir. Others said he'd challenge the rival packs. Some whispered he might finally break his silence. Luna overheard it all in the infirmary as she sorted bandages, muttering to herself, "Well, that's dramatic. A mute king giving a speech. Impossible. Or maybe he'll just glare really hard. That could count." She didn't notice the shadow in the doorway. Didn't feel the eyes watching her. Didn't sense the Alpha standing there, silent, listening. Until the healer, Mistress Rowan, whispered, "Alpha." Luna jumped so hard she knocked over a tray of instruments. Clatter, chaos, echoing noise. Luna squeaked. Kael stood just inside the doorway, face unreadable, posture still as stone. Rowan bowed. "What brings you here, my king?" Kael lifted his hand, made a single gesture. Rowan's eyes widened. "You want her?" Luna blinked. "Me? Want me for what? I mean, not like want, just regular want, or pack want, or..." Rowan elbowed her sharply. Kael didn't react, but his gaze was fixed on Luna. Intense. Focused. Almost curious. Rowan swallowed. She talks too much, Alpha. She's difficult. Kale didn't look away, didn't move. Then he nodded once, slow, deliberate. A command. Rowan exhaled. Very well. Luna will attend the claiming ceremony and stand in the Alpha's circle. The room spun. What? No, no, no. I can't stand anywhere near him. I trip, I ramble, I attract disaster like a magnet covered in glue. Kyle turned and left, silent, final. Rowan grabbed Luna's shoulders. You don't understand. No one stands in the Alpha's circle. No one, not for 10 years. Luna swallowed hard. But why me? Rowan whispered. Because for the first time in a decade, he looked at someone. A chill raced up Luna's spine. Not fear. Something stranger, something electric. Something like destiny inhaling. The moon rose swollen and silver, too bright, too heavy, like it knew something the pack didn't. Luna stood behind the ceremonial platform, fidgeting with her sleeves, muttering, "This is fine, totally fine. Just stand still, don't trip, don't talk. Don't breathe too loud. Actually, do breathe. Passing out would be worse. Probably." Mistress Rowan pinched the bridge of her nose. For the love of the moon goddess, be silent. Luna's mouth snapped shut. Her thoughts screamed anyway. All around her, thousands gathered, warriors, healers, elders, nobles, filling the arena carved into the mountainside. Torches roared. Wind howled. Drums thudded like a heartbeat. Everyone whispered the same name. Alpha Kel. Some with reverence. Some with terror. Some with hunger. But no one whispered Luna's name. She was the nobody standing where legends bled. Rowan leaned close, voice hushed. When the Alpha arrives, keep your head bowed. Don't speak. Don't look him in the eyes. And whatever happens, do not laugh. Luna blinked. Why would I laugh? You laugh when you panic. Luna opened her mouth to deny it, then remembered 10 years of laughing at funerals, punishments, broken plates, terrifying walls. Right. Rowan sighed. And Luna? Yes? If the Alpha chooses someone tonight, it won't be you. Luna's stomach dropped. I don't want to be chosen. Good, Rowan said flatly, because choice doesn't apply to you. The words stung more than they should have. Before Luna could respond, a horn blasted. The mountain fell silent. Then, he appeared. Alpha Kale stepped onto the stone platform, flanked by elite guards. Black coat, broad shoulders, eyes like frozen steel. Jaw locked in unreadable silence. The entire pack bowed. Luna froze. Rowan hissed, "Bo!" Luna snapped down just in time, nearly overbalancing. She squeezed her eyes shut. Don't trip, don't talk, don't die. Kael moved past the front ranks, slow, deliberate, silent. He climbed the steps to the center of the platform and raised his hand. Not a word. But the entire pack straightened instantly. Obedience born of fear. Luna dared a glance. His gaze scanned the crowd. Cold, distant, untouchable. Then, shockingly, he turned and looked at her, directly. Luna's brain stopped. Her heart sprinted. Rowan inhaled sharply. He noticed you. Luna panicked. Should I run? Kale gestured. A single beckoning motion. Warriors stared. Whispers erupted. Why her? She's an Omega, nothing. A mistake. No. A warning. Rowan nudged Luna forward. Go. I can't. You already have. Luna looked down. Her feet were moving, betraying her, carrying her up the stone steps toward the most dangerous man alive. Her breath shook. Her thoughts spiraled. Why me? Why now? Why in front of everyone? She reached the top and froze 2 steps away. Kale towered over her, silent, expressionless. A storm with no thunder. Luna swallowed. Hi? Rowan fainted somewhere behind her. Kale didn't blink, didn't flinch, didn't move, just stared. Luna's cheeks burned. I mean, not hi, not hello, I didn't mean to speak. I mean, obviously I know you don't... His hand lifted. Just slightly, Luna gasped and clapped her mouth shut. Kael stepped toward her. The crowd held its breath. He lifted his palm, touched her wrist. Barely. But the world exploded. Heat surged through her veins. Wind roared in her ears. Her wolf, silent her whole life, shivered awake. Luna staggered. Kael's hand tightened, steadying her. Gasps rippled across the arena. Contact. No alpha touched an Omega ever. Luna's voice trembled. What was that? Kael said nothing, but his gaze, for one heartbeat, wasn't cold. It was searching, conflicted, almost desperate. Before she could process it, a voice boomed from the lower ranks. Alpha Kael! The pack demands a successor! The Gamma, Lord Garen, thick-necked, power-drunk, ambitious, stepped forward. If you cannot speak your intentions, we will speak them for you. Kael's eyes darkened, danger rippling beneath silence. Garen smirked. 10 years mute, 10 years silent, 10 years without command. It is time for leadership with a voice. Warriors murmured. Something ugly stirred. Garon jabbed a finger toward Luna. And dragging a useless Omega into your circle? That proves your judgment is broken. Luna flinched. The word useless hit like a fist. Kael didn't move, didn't defend himself. Didn't defend her. Just silence. Garen laughed cruelly. She doesn't belong beside an alpha. She barely belongs in this pack. Luna's eyes burned. Her throat tightened. Old memories whispered. Worthless. Too loud. Too weak. Too much. She sucked in a breath and spoke. Actually, I belong wherever I'm standing. The crowd gasped. Rowan woke up just to faint again. Garen sneered. You dare speak? Luna winced. Yes, well, I talk a lot. Kind of a problem working on it, but... Silence, Garen barked. Normally, Luna would crumble. But something inside her had shifted, like Kael's touch knocked loose a lock she didn't know she had. She straightened. I won't. The arena froze. She pointed at Garen, hand shaking but voice steady. You don't get to decide my worth. Garen snarled. An Omega with opinions? Laughable. Luna's chin lifted, tears glinting but unfallen. Laugh then, but don't pretend you're brave. You only talk because he doesn't. All eyes snapped to Kael. Shock rippled. Garen stuttered. You dare insult the Alpha? Luna panicked. I wasn't insulting him. I was insulting you. Very different insults. The crowd erupted, chaos exploding, warriors shouting, elders whispering, tension spiraling. Garen roared, Enough! By pack law, the mute Alpha is unfit to rule. I challenge for leadership. The arena gasped. Blood challenge, war, death. Kale stood motionless, silent, expression unreadable. Garen turned to the crowd triumphantly. Let the pack see. A king too broken to speak. A leader too weak to claim. A mute wolf who hides behind silence. He faced Kale, eyes blazing. Fight me or step down. Luna's heart lurched. This was her fault. Her words lit this fire. Her mouth started to whisper. I'm sorry. And that's when it happened. Kaelin moved. One step, then another. Each footfall thunderous. Garen's bravado faltered. Kael had stopped inches away. His gaze bore into Garen's skull. A silent sentence. A silent verdict. A silent promise. That someone was already dead. The tension was suffocating. Then, Kael raised his hand, extended 2 fingers toward Luna, a gesture older than the pack. A claiming signal. The pack erupted in shouts. Impossible! He's choosing her. She's nothing. Kael didn't acknowledge the uproar. He kept his gaze locked on Garen. Silent dominance, silent fury, silent command. And Garen stepped back. 1 inch, 1 breath, 1 surrender. The crowd gasped. The mute Alpha had just won a challenge, without a single word. But Luna barely heard them. Because her wrist, where Kael touched her, was still burning. Still alive. Still connected. As if silence wasn't empty anymore. As if silence was calling her name. The storm broke that night. Not in the sky. In the pack. Whispers spread like claws on stone. The mute Alpha chose an Omega. He signaled for her. He protected her. Why her? Why now? Luna sat alone in the infirmary storage room, knees pulled to her chest, words tumbling out into the dark. I ruined everything. I poked a power-hungry gamma with a verbal stick. I started a leadership war. I should be banned from speaking forever. Or maybe lightly muzzled. Soft, humane muzzle. Fashionable. The door creaked. Luna screamed. A hand clamped over her mouth. Gentle but firm. Her heart slammed. Kael. He stood in the doorway, towering, silent, shadowed by moonlight. Luna's voice muffled against his palm. Mmph. Mph? He slowly removed his hand. Luna gulped air. You can't sneak up on people like that. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. But you did. Are you... Why are you... Kael extended his hand. A simple gesture. Come. Luna blinked. Come where? Because if this is about public execution, I'd like a heads up. His fingers curled slightly. Firm. Commanding. Not a suggestion. A summons. Luna swallowed. Okay, fine, sure. I'll... go, but you should know. I talk under stress. I talk under calm. I talk under weather conditions in general. Kael turned, walked away, silent, expecting her to follow. And she did. Every step behind him felt like stepping deeper into a story she didn't understand. He led her through the quiet halls, past stone pillars, flickering torches, and guards who bowed low but dared not speak. Finally, he stopped at a door reinforced with steel. A guard opened it silently. Inside, a chamber carved into the mountain, echoing, bare, cold. But on the far wall, massive claw marks, deep, violent, desperate. Luna's voice trembled. "What is this place?" Cale stepped inside. His shoulders, usually rigid, lowered just slightly. He gestured. "Here." Luna frowned. "You... come here?" He nodded once. Her breath hitched. "This is where you go when you're alone?" Another nod. "Oh." Silence pressed in, heavy, ancient. Luna shivered. "Is this where you stop talking?" Kael froze, just for a heartbeat. Then, slowly, he walked to the center of the room and placed his hand on the claw-marked wall. His fingers trembled. Luna stared. "Does someone hurt you here?" He didn't move, didn't deny it, didn't breathe. Luna took a step closer. It wasn't just silence. It was trauma. A flicker, pain tightening his jaw. Luna whispered, "You didn't choose to be mute." His eyes closed. Like her words exposed a wound he'd spent years burying. Luna's voice softened. "You lost something." A deeper tremor. Not anger. Grief. Luna swallowed hard. "Who?" Kael opened his eyes, steel cracked with shadows. He raised his hand and touched 2 fingers to his heart, then pointed at the wall beside him. Luna followed his gesture and saw it. A faded carving. 2 initials. K. Pwa. Her voice broke. "You weren't alone." Kael's throat worked, like a voice wanted out but couldn't cross the scar inside him. Luna stepped closer, slow, careful, reverent. "What happened?" Kael didn't gesture, didn't act out. He just stared at the carving, and the room told the rest. Claws on stone. Blood smeared. Rage trapped in silence. A goodbye carved into a prison. Luna's breath trembled. "You loved someone." Kael didn't move, but something shattered quietly in his eyes. Luna whispered, "And when she died, you stopped talking." Kael's hand dropped from the wall, fist clenched. His chest rose too fast, too hard, panic spiraling like a trapped wolf. Luna stepped forward instinctively. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have guessed. I shouldn't have..." His breath fractured. He staggered, not from pain, from memory. Luna reached out, not touching, just close enough to anchor. "You don't have to speak," she murmured. "But you're not alone here." His gaze snapped to hers. Raw, exposed, vulnerable. Luna's voice softened to a trembling thread. "You're allowed to hurt." For the first time. Kael looked like a man, not a king, not a legend. Not a monster, just a soul drowning in silence. Luna wiped her cheek, surprised to find tears that weren't hers. "I talk too much," she whispered, "because quiet reminds me of everything I've lost." Kaela blinked. shocked. She laughed shakily. We're opposites, but maybe the same kind of broken. Something shifted, barely. A crack in the ice. Kale lifted his hand, slowly, and reached toward her face. Not commanding, not claiming, just asking. Luna nodded. His fingers brushed her cheek. So gentle, it was almost disbelief. Heat rippled through her. Not magic. Recognition. Her wolf stirred, awake for the first time in her life. Kale's breath hitched. He felt it too. Luna whispered, "What is happening?" Kale parted his lips, like a word fought to be born, but nothing came. His jaw tightened painfully. He stepped back, walls slamming up. Ice reforming. Luna reached forward instinctively. "Wait!" He turned away, retreating into silence. Luna's voice broke. "Don't shut me out." He froze mid-step. The words hung between them. Not an order, a plea. Kale didn't turn, didn't move. But his hand lifted and pressed to his chest, right over his heart. Then slowly, he pressed his fingers to hers. Just lightly. Just once. Connection. A vow without words. Then he walked out, leaving Luna in the chamber, shaken, changed, and terrified of what silence meant now. The next morning, chaos. Gamma Garen stood in the courtyard, shouting to the crowd, "By pack law, the Alpha must defend his claim. If he will not speak, he must fight. The challenge begins at dusk." Warriors roared approval. Elders whispered fear. Healers muttered doubt. But Luna stared at the platform, where Kale stood alone. Silent. Expression unreadable. Everyone thought his silence meant weakness. Everyone thought he was cornered. Everyone thought Garen had already won. But Luna knew better. She could feel it. In her pulse. In her wolf. In the echo of his touch. Silence wasn't empty anymore. It was loaded. Holding something back, something dangerous. Something about to break. The moon would rise, and the mute Alpha would face his challenger. And Luna felt it in her bones. Silence was ending, one way or another. Dusk bled across the mountains like a warning. Drums thundered. Torches roared. The arena filled with bodies and breathless tension. Tonight wasn't ceremony. Tonight was war. Luna stood at the edge of the stone ring, fists clenched, heart slamming against her ribs. Mistress Rowan hissed beside her, "You shouldn't be here." Luna swallowed. "I think I have to be." Because Kale stood alone in the center of the arena. Black coat whipping in the wind, shoulders squared, jaw locked, eyes dead calm. Silent, unshakable. A storm waiting for lightning. Gamma Garen strutted across the platform, armored, armed, smirking, like victory was already carved in stone. He raised his voice so every ear heard. "Since our Alpha refuses to speak, refuses to lead, and refuses to prove his worth, he will fall tonight." The crowd roared approval, fear, anger, desperation. Garon paced in a slow circle around Keijiel. 10 years without a single word. 10 years without command. 10 years of silence. He sneered. "Silence is cowardice." Luna's stomach twisted. Kael didn't react, didn't blink, didn't flinch, just breathed, slow and level. Garen lifted his blade toward the crowd. Tonight, Frostfang chooses strength. He pointed the blade at Kael's chest and buries silence forever. Luna stepped forward without thinking. No! Gasps erupted. Rowan grabbed her arm. Stop! He'll kill you for interrupting. Garen laughed cruelly. Look, the Omega mascot thinks she matters. Luna's cheeks burned, but she held her ground. Silence isn't cowardice, she shouted. Sometimes it's survival. Murmurs rippled. Garen spat. Silence achieves nothing. Luna's voice trembled, but rose. Then why are you so afraid of it? The arena stilled. Garen's face twisted. I fear nothing. Then why are you screaming? Luna fired back. For a heartbeat. Kael's eyes flicked to her. Not cold, not distant, present. Luna's pulse skidded. He saw her. He heard her. Garen snarled. Enough! The challenge begins. He lunged. Fast, brutal, aiming straight for Kael's throat. The crowd screamed. Luna covered her mouth. But Kael Sahel didn't move. At the last possible second, he sidestepped. 1 inch, 1 breath. Garen's blade sliced empty air. Momentum sent him stumbling. Kael didn't strike, didn't counter, didn't attack. He simply turned, silent and calm. The crowd gasped. Luna whispered, He's reading him. Garen roared and charged again, wild, sloppy, furious. Kael shifted. 1 step, 1 pivot. Garen crashed into the stone pillar. Metal clattered, blood sprayed. The arena exploded. He didn't even touch him. He's toying with him. Kael stood still, breathing evenly. Watching. Calculating. Garen staggered up, panting. You think silence makes you superior? Kael didn't answer. Didn't need to. Garen rushed again, rage blinding him. Kael is spun, smooth, precise, and slammed Garen's wrist with a single strike. Crack! The blade dropped. Garen screamed. Kael stepped back, giving him space, giving him choice, mercy. The crowd whispered, He's sparing him. He's offering a chance to yield. But Garen snarled through blood and fury. You can't command without a voice. He lunged barehanded, out, aiming to kill. And Kael moved for the first time like a beast unleashed. Swift, silent, merciless. He seized Garen's arm, twisted, drove him to the stone, pinned him with 1 knee, and locked his throat in the crook of his arm. No roar, no threat, no sound, just dominance, pure and absolute. Garen choked, face red, veins bulging. Tap out, submit, yield. But pride choked harder than the hold. He sputtered, You're not fit to be alpha if you can't speak. Luna felt something inside her snap. She stepped forward. He doesn't need a voice to lead. Her words cut through the arena like a blade. He leads with action, with strength, with restraint, with wisdom. She pointed at Garen, shaking but fierce. You scream to feel powerful. He doesn't have to. Silence fell like snow. Kael's grip tightened, just enough to end the fight. Garen collapsed, defeated. The elders rose. The challenge is decided. The High Elder declared, "Alpha Kale remains our king." The arena erupted, cheers, shaking the mountain. Warriors pounded fists to chests. Healers bowed. Even the doubters lowered their eyes. Luna exhaled, relief flooding her bones. Until... Wait! A voice sliced through the noise. High Elder Varin stepped forward, cold, sharp, hungry. The law states an alpha who cannot speak, cannot officiate rites, cannot bond, cannot bless, cannot mate. The crowd stilled. Luna froze. Varin's gaze speared her. And if rumors are true, that he touched the Omega, then a mating bond looms. Gasps erupted. No! Impossible! She's not worthy. Varin lifted a decree scroll. If the Alpha enters a bond he cannot verbally acknowledge, he forfeits the throne. Luna's lungs stopped. What? Varin read louder. To rule, the Alpha must speak his vow. Kale stiffened. Every eye turned to him. The law was clear. If Kale bonded Yitu, he must speak, or lose everything. Varin smiled like a man savoring victory. Break your silence and keep your crown. Luna's throat knotted. If Kale spoke, he'd break the promise he made to his past, to the one he lost, to the silence born from grief and death. But if he didn't, he'd lose the kingdom, lose the pack, lose everything he'd bled for. And Luna would be blamed. Varin turned, voice booming. At dawn, we demand the Alpha's vow. The decree echoed across the arena. A countdown. A death sentence. A choice carved in stone. Speak or fall. Kael's gaze rose to Luna. Not angry, not afraid. Just haunted. Luna's breath shattered. Because she finally understood. His silence wasn't resistance. It was protection. And Dawn would destroy it. Dawn crawled over Frostfang like a blade of light. Sharp, merciless, unavoidable. The countdown had ended. Luna stood alone on the palace balcony, fingers gripping the railing so hard her knuckles burned. Below, the entire pack gathered in the courtyard. Thousands waiting, whispering, trembling. At dawn, we demand the Alpha's vow. The words echoed in her skull. Kael had only two choices. Speak, and tear open the wound that silenced him. Or stay silent, and lose his throne. Because of her. Luna's throat tightened. This is my fault, she whispered. He shouldn't have to choose. Behind her, footsteps, slow, heavy, familiar. She turned. Kael stood there, broad shoulders wrapped in morning shadow, eyes unreadable. Power coiled tight beneath stillness. Silent, as always. Luna swallowed. You don't have to do this. Kael didn't move. Luna stepped closer, hesitating, unsure, scared. I'm not worth a crown. I'm not worth a kingdom. I'm not worth... Kael lifted a hand and placed two fingers gently against her lips. A soft command. Not to silence her, to soothe her. Her breath trembled. Kael lowered his hand and pressed it to his own heart. Luna's chest ached. I know, she whispered. Your silence is sacred. He blinked, pain flickering beneath steel. You lost someone. You loved someone. And when she died, your voice died too. Kael's jaw clenched, truth cutting deep. Luna's voice broke. I won't make you tear open that pain. I won't be the reason you bleed again. She stepped back, tears stinging. If breaking the bond saves you, I'll do it. Kael's eyes snapped open. Shock, fury, fear, all twisting in silence. Luna forced a smile that hurt. You'll keep your crown, your pack, your legacy, and I'll leave before dawn ends. She turned. Kael grabbed her wrist. Not harsh, desperate. Luna froze. He shook his head once, sharp, trembling. No, his grip said it all. He'd rather lose everything than lose her. Luna's breath shattered. Kael... His eyes burned, ice cracking under fire. He lifted her hand, pressed it to his chest, over his heart, where it pounded like thunder. A voice trapped behind ribs. A voice that wanted out, but couldn't. Luna whispered, "You don't have to speak to prove anything." He held her gaze and shook his head. Slow, determined. Then he stepped past her, toward the balcony doors, toward the pack, toward destiny. Luna reached out. "Wait!" He paused, just enough for her voice to land. "You owe me nothing, but they need you. They need their alpha." Silence. Heavy. Breathing. Then Kael turned his face, just slightly, so she could see the truth in his eyes. He wasn't going out there for them. He was going for her. The courtyard erupted as Kael stepped into the morning light. Warriors bowed. Elders straightened. Wabbers surged like a storm. The vow. He must speak. He'll lose everything. High Elder Varin raised a hand. "Alpha Kael, before the pack and the law, you must declare your vow. Speak your claim. Speak your choice." Kael stood motionless, silent. The pack leaned forward, breathless. Varin's smile curled like poison. "If you cannot speak, you forfeit the throne." Gasps, panic. Luna pushed through the crowd, desperate. This wasn't right. This wasn't fair. This wasn't his burden alone. She broke through to the front and shouted, "Stop!" All eyes turned, including Kael's. Luna trembled, but her voice held. He doesn't need words to lead. He's ruled with strength, with restraint, with wisdom. Silence didn't make him weak. It made him powerful. Murmurs, doubt, hope. Luna swallowed hard. "If the law demands words, then let my voice speak the truth." She turned to Kael, eyes shining. "You are the strongest alpha this pack has ever known." Kael's breath hitched, like her words struck something buried deep. "You protected us," Luna said, "but even when you suffered, even when you broke, even when silence was the only thing holding you together." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "And I will never ask you to break that silence for me." The courtyard fell utterly still. Kael stared at her, jaw trembling, breath uneven, eyes burning with everything he'd never said. Luna stepped closer. "I love you enough to let you keep your silence." Gasps, shock, a confession raw and reckless. "I love you enough to walk away so you don't lose your crown." Kael's eyes widened, panic flaring, and Luna whispered, "Goodbye." She turned and walked away. 1 step, 2, 3. Kael's fingers curled, shaking. His breath fractured. Something inside him snapped. The world went still. The wind stopped. Even the pack held its breath. Kael's voice, rusted ball, broken, unused for 10 long years, forced itself upward like a howl rising from a grave. "Luna!" The courtyard exploded. Warriors staggered. Elders gasped. Luna froze mid-step. Her knees buckled. Slowly, disbelievingly. She turned. Kael stood there, wide-eyed, voice trembling in the cold air, as if the single word ripped open every scar in his soul. But he wasn't done. He took a step toward her, then another. Every breath shuddered. Every word fought through pain. But finally, after 10 years of silence, he spoke. "I love you." The world shattered. Warriors dropped to their knees. Elders bowed. Even the mountains seemed to echo the words back. "I love you." Luna covered her mouth, sobbing, shaking, disbelieving. Kael closed the distance between them, voice raw, broken, but real. "I love you," he whispered again, like the words were both agony and salvation. "My silence was my grave. You pulled me out." He sank to one knee, the mute alpha, kneeling for the girl who gave him back his voice. The pack erupted in cheers, tears, roars of triumph. Varin staggered back, defeated, by law, by vow, by love. Kael lifted Luna's hand to his lips. "For you," he said, voice cracking but steady, "I speak." Luna collapsed into his arms, laughing and crying, and finally quiet. For the first time in her life, silence didn't feel empty. It felt full, warm, safe. Because silence belonged to him, and his voice belonged to her. They rose together. Alpha and mate, voice and echo, silence and song. And the whole pack bowed to the king who spoke. And the girl who made him. His first words saved a kingdom. His second saved her.